Jermaine Tube in the building. You already know what time it is. So I'm doing another video here on this platform. This is my new phone, by the way. iPhone 11. I don't really be on it too much. I try my best not to get attached to it, just because there's there's a lot of things that we have to kind of balance out in terms of how much we give our time to, like what we give our energy to. You know what I mean? Your time is everything. Your time is your life. That's why I say, if you if you if you lose it, if you don't use it, you lose it. You get what I'm saying? And that's time. So if you're not using your time wisely, or you're not being productive, in other words, with your time, then, well, I mean, how could you expect, or how could you expect to be your highest version if you're not putting the work or in the time to get there, to that designation? So everything requires work, but you can't work without time. You know what I mean? You need time first before you can even put in your energy to that work. So if you put your time into things that serve your purpose, or in other words, get you somewhere where you want to be, or what you envision yourself to be, you will get there. It's not going to be easy. Another thing I want to talk about is too is like, we often think that everything should supposed to be easy in life. Nothing is easy. Like the junk I'm doing now it isn't easy. It's very hard because, one, you have people influence you positively or negatively, and they can tempt you. So everyone is an influencer on different levels. Two is, you have to set boundaries. You have to set boundaries on your time and your energy, because if you don't, other people can take advantage of your time and energy, and you leave you feeling devalued. So that's another thing. Boundaries is very important for your time. Like what you give your time to, what you share your energy to, is what that's going to be. It's going to create a result out of that. So that's why me, I have some. If you guys look, look. This is my setup in my room. Every time I walk in my room, this is me. See, I have this book, Law of Human Nature. Like a lot of different books that you need to kind of read. I'm not saying, like, another thing I want to talk about is, when it comes to spirituality. Spirituality isn't about following someone's path or following a specific way of the path. Your path is your path, and what you create will create the pavement of your path. So everyone's journey and experience is different. The purpose of why I put my videos on here is to influence, and is to encourage people to, expand, to grow to their higher self or their higher version. And that's my purpose here. My purpose is to raise the vibrations, and raise the frequency, and raise everything on a collective level, and basically to become unity consciousness. Is through this process on my journey, I'm uniting people. I'm bringing people together. I'm not dividing people. You know what I mean? By saying you have to follow a specific way of spirituality, or to do certain things. Or I'm not saying like you can't do this. You can't do this. Do this, because I'll be like the people in the Matrix that's basically telling you, oh, go get this job, go to college, retire, and then, like, that's it. You know what I mean? It, other people's opinions about certain things can be limited to your journey. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to think for yourself and actually know what's best for you. You know what I mean? You take on everyone else, like, perspectives, and then use their perspective as, like, the only way for your journey. then that's going to leave you very limited on your journey because you're not using what's inside of you. You're using something outside of you, so it's going to leave you. What anything outside of you is always going to be temporary. And the reason why is because the material world is temporary. Money is temporary. A lot of people want to be rich. A lot of people want to have all this wealth, abundance, all this stuff. But how you get there is the question, and how you use that is also the question too. Because you can have wealth, you can have abundance, all this stuff, but if you're not using it in a proper way and using it according to your purpose here, then you're going to be misaligned with your actual like service and purpose with that money or abundance and energy. So the reason why I'm saying that is because you have to think. For example, if I was to get $2 million right now, what would I do with it? One, I would invest it into things that serve me a purpose. Two, then I would help people and I will encourage people to get to where I'm at and teach them how to manifest. Now, a lot of people also question like how do you manifest? Manifestation is not about, this is the thing we have to realize, because even I don't know how to manifest, but I would tell you like manifestation is just you. It's just you at the dot, moving through time and space, aligning yourself and all your energy centers with your soul purpose. And you then that's going to naturally attract, you're going to be a magnet for abundance anyway. So technically you won't intentionally need to be manifesting because you're already intentionally manifesting through your thoughts and feelings and through your actions and your state of being. So that would be natural. That wouldn't, you won't have to look up a video or learn how to manifest because you'll naturally be doing it with no question. You really, I'm gonna be so honest. You can teach people how to manifest, but you can't make no one manifest. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone is not aligned. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is not aligned with their soul purpose or their self. You know what I mean? You have to align yourself, and it's hard to do that because one, you have to do a lot of inner work. Two, you have to spend a lot of time alone because one, the more you're in the crowd, the more you're around people and things and noise and all that stuff, the more it's going to distract you from your journey, and it's going to take your focus off what's important, and that's reality. So a lot of people think being alone is a bad thing, but being alone takes a lot of strength too, because it's another thing too. It's a negative part of being alone too. Is when you think like that, when you think that you're alone, you start becoming alone. And the reason why is because you have conditioned yourself to be, you have programmed yourself to think in a certain way as, oh, I'm alone. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that be alone or feel like they're alone or think they're alone, they behave alone. You know what I mean? They react alone. They feel alone. They think alone. You know what I mean? So you have to be very strong you have to be a strong individual to take this journey or to start this journey, in other words, alone, with no support system, with nothing. Your healing, this whole process or this whole journey that you started is your healing. It's your healing. You're healing yourself. No one can heal you but yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they can tell you what to do, like, hey, you know what I mean, do this, do that. You know, they can encourage you or they can discourage you. But no matter how much they encourage you, no matter how much they discourage you, you still have to put in the work yourself, and you still have to heal yourself regardless of what they say or how effective their actions may have on you or how effective their influence may have on you. It's just up to you as an individual to create what you desire. You know what I mean? And another thing too is desire is, everyone thinks self-love is selfish, but in reality, everyone's selfish. Even the people that call you selfish, they're selfish. You know what I'm saying? So it all goes hand in hand. It's just different polarities of it. Once you learn, you read the Kabbalah and things like that. Like you learn a lot of different secrets that most well I ain't gonna put a statistic amount on it, but majority of the people, the minority of people don't know this information that I'm speaking about. They just know the normal thing. Go to school, go to your job, watch TV, um, maybe party, go out with friends, distract yourself. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. So I'm done being distracted. Once you come to a point where you're done being distracted, you're just done. You're done with all of the bullcrap. You're done with people, distractions and lifestyles. You're not gonna be around that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna surround yourself with it because you already know what the result's gonna be. Two is you're not gonna be around things that no longer serve your purpose. Once you start your journey, you're not gonna have any interest in what normal people have an interest in. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn to be alone anyways because whatever interests you is always going to be different from the minority. So this journey is always going to be alone anyways, regardless of what you do and how you do it. A lot of people don't they're going to have a lot to say about you negatively and positively, regardless of what you do or what you say or how you do something. That's just reality. So you have to learn how to um, manage your time and your energy to things that serve your purpose. For example, you have to ask yourself before you party, for example, before you party or whatever, or hang out with friends or whatever it may be. Ask yourself, are they when you're around them in their presence, do they encourage you? Do they help you to your goals? Do they help you to your purpose? Do they uplift you? Like every time you're around them, do they uplift you? You know what I mean? Do they push you in a way? Do they motivate you all the ways? Motivate, move something towards a particular desire or goal. Motivation, you know what I mean? Motivation is just motion and energy, action into motion and and momentum and action. It's motion. It's kinetic energy. You know what I mean? You learn that at school. Kinetic energy is just energy that is in motion, and it's different forms and shapes of that. So you have to just learn how to kind of, um, in other words, surround yourself with the right people. If you don't have those people around you, they're not worth your energy and time. I'm not saying don't love them or love them. I'm just saying if what's important to you is important to you, and what's not important to you is not important to you. So you have to learn what is important. Is it important to distract yourself or be surround yourself with negative people, or is it important to surround yourself with positive people, or people that's alike that's just like you and me, that's going to uplift you and bring you to your next level or support you. In other words, now I'm not saying don't fully rely on a support team because your support team is not always going to be there. You get what I'm saying? You have friends, you have acquaintances, and all these different levels of relationships. But what it all boils down to is you. You are the only person who is going to keep yourself motivated, in tune with yourself, um, focused, driven, encouraged. You're the only person who can do that. No one else can do that. They can influence you to those different feelings and thoughts and things like that. But you, at the end of the day, you have to be able to do that for yourself. No one's going to do it for you. That's why a lot of people that get in relationships, a lot of relationships that go wrong negatively, is because they don't love themselves. A lot of relationship problems and issues go wrong because they don't love themselves. And when they get in a relationship, they're not truly ready for that kind of condition, that they're looking for. So you have to be able to love yourself first before you even try to give yourself away in a way to someone else. You have to love yourself first, because if you don't appreciate yourself or respect yourself, you're gonna go out in a relationship looking really silly, not respecting yourself, and then feeling embarrassed and feeling all these different feelings and these different emotions and feelings that you don't want to experience. So what I'm saying is it's good to develop a relationship with yourself, because what it all boils down to, what it all starts with in life and in all experiences is yourself. For example, if I was to be with someone because they said something about my mom or my dad, and I put myself in jail, would it be right or wrong for me to say, well, I beat him up because he was talking about my dad and all this stuff and blah 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 blah, and whoever, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna let no one say something about someone that I love about and offend them, and I then it's just a whole like cycle. So yes, you can like try to justify yourself through that action, but the second thing about it is, you at the end of the day, in reality, at the end of the day, you put yourself in that situation. So you have to understand that everything is from an esoteric point of view. Once you understand esotericism, it's like all experiences are connected. All experiences start within yourself, and a lot of people that go to jail or do things that they didn't want to do, they put themselves in that situation. Every action you're responsible for, even if you don't own it, because it's still considered irresponsibility, which means not responding to something correctly, or not responding to something that you owned. You know what I'm saying? So responsibility is the ability to respond to your situations correctly and through a manner that you own it. That, hey, yes, I did do this, and I'm owning to that. But I also have learned from that experience too, and I also know a better way of responding to that situation if I was to encounter it again in my lifetime. You get what I'm saying? That's responsibility. Responsibility is not, oh, I'm paying all my bills on time and all this stuff. No, responsibility is found in all aspects of your life: your emotional life, your physical life, your spiritual life. It's found in everything. So understand that, and understand. I'm not gonna say understand, because under means under. Yeah, another thing we have to really like recognize is words. Words are literally power. Words are spells. You don't like, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, if you look up the English language is, it has 26 letters, yeah, in the alphabet. So if you add that up, you get eight. And eight represents Mars, the energy of Mars, and it represents the 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 Ouroboros, if I said that correctly, the Ouroboros, basically the snake that's eating his own tail, or the dragon that's eating his own tail. It basically represents infinity, a cycle of things, a cycle of thinking and feeling certain things. So that's what it is, guys. You have to like, that's what it is. That's why, like, for example, certain things that we've been taught and conditioned and programmed to learn is it's like at the first level. Once you start liberating yourself from all these different programs and things like that, like, for example, a lot of people think occultism is like demonic and all this stuff, and that is bad and all this stuff. But what if I told you, like, occultism is actually something to open your eyes to the realities too. It's something that opens. It's something that. It's something that opens the hidden to you. What's hidden from society, what's truly behind the closed doors. You know what I mean? It opens your eyes to that. So for someone to say, "Oh, that's evil, that's demonic," and all that stuff, they're basically saying, like, stay asleep. They're just saying, stay in the dark, stay asleep. Don't find out what the dark is hiding from you. They're not saying, they're just, you know what I'm saying. So when I see people individual like that, I don't respond to their energy because I already know what it is. I already know that they're not on the they're not on the same frequency as me, and it's okay. It's okay not to be on the same frequency. It just means that we have a different lifestyle. We have a different mindset, if that makes sense. So it's not to disagree and it's not to argue or debate because I don't debate with no one on here. Even if someone come on my videos and say, "Oh, you sound stupid," whatever, and then show me an article, prove me wrong, and all this stuff. I don't debate with no one because the purpose of arguing is distraction. That's the purpose of arguing and debating is distraction. It's to distract yourself and keep your ego heightened in certain ways. So I'm not here to be egotistical or to prove someone wrong or whatever it may be. Your lifestyle is your lifestyle, my lifestyle is my lifestyle. And if it's not compatible or if it's not matching the frequency or whatever like that, then it's just not matching the frequency. It's nothing wrong with that. It just means we have to learn a way of connecting to each other. You know what I mean? It's a bigger picture of looking at things than rather in a biased way. Like, oh, you're wrong. Oh, I got an article to prove you wrong. You know what I mean? So you just have to you have to understand that everything is not against you because you are your biggest enemy, and that's your ego. So you have to understand how to put your ego into control and to master it, to become a master manifestor, to actually master your ego, which is your image, and create a better image about yourself, which is your personality, about how others see you and how you see yourself and what you believe and how much you believe in yourself and how much others believe in you. So you have to understand that esoteric point of view to even get there. So anyways, I'm gonna start this video because that's a lot of damn information. Um, it's a lot of information. It's a lot of beneficial information that a lot of people can learn from. So I hope you learned something. Jermaine 2 back in the building again. If y'all wonder what crystal this is, another thing too when I'm talking about crystals is I don't fully put my belief in energy into crystals. It's because one, you have to understand, like, whenever you're putting your energy or your energy or your power into like physical items or anything outside of you, you're given that some type of advantage over you to govern you. So you have to understand, like, there's a balance between the two. I do believe in the concepts like, everything's energy, frequencies and different things like that, different forms and shapes of it. But I do not put my full belief in that, because if you put your full belief in that, then whatever you set a value on what will be sold as its value. So just be careful, guys, about putting your full capacity into whatever you believe that's outside of you. Always have a balance between what you believe within yourself and what you believe that's outside of you, whether that's God, celebrity. I don't care what it is. I just don't care. Whatever you believe in that's outside of you, just have a balance between that and what you believe in yourself and how you know yourself and things like that. It's basically self-awareness. So have a balance between that, because again, I'm a Libra, so I know the operations of how the processes go about. You can work out. You could be a person that work out a lot, have big muscles, big chest, whatever it may be, that looks physically appealing. But if you don't have a sharp mind or a strong emotion, if you don't have a strong shield mentally and emotionally, then you're not truly in your greatest version. You know what I'm saying? You put your energy towards something that looks strong, or that looks that looks whatever, and you can be too strong and lack the intellect to control that power or to control that strength or to balance that strength out. Again, too much of this and too much of that, too much of positivity and too much of negativity can lead you to two different paths. So you have to have a balance between in the present moment and say, like a lot of people, they want to be on top of the world. They want to be the richest. They want to be the wealthiest. And when you get there, you also realize that you have a lot of pressure on you that you have to be aware of and you have to pay attention to, such as people, things that happen. You have to be, you have to have a balance. If you don't have a balance, you're gonna be kind of devoured in a way by your own like journey. So just just kind of consider how you can reconfigure things on a negative aspect and a positive aspect, how you can reconfigure and rewire yourself back to the present moment. I talk about balance a lot because balance is not perfection to me. Balance is being able to being able to flow through your current time and space while being present in it and being while having a masculine and a feminine balance between your experiences. So that's what it is. You have to have a balance between it, and when you have balance, you have oneness. When you're balanced, you're one. You know what I mean? You're one with yourself, and when you're one, you're completed. You're whole. You know what I mean? Two pieces creates a whole. So if you merge your masculine, your feminine energy, and you balance that out, you become one, one, two, two. One, one, one plus one isn't two, because if it was, it would be on the other side. One plus one is actually three, which is the number of spirit. Two, two plus two is four. Four is the number of stability and balance. So if you balance your emotions and you balance your actions with those emotions that's connected, you have oneness, you have wholeness. But I'm not gonna get into that because this video is already too long, and a lot of people probably ain't gonna watch it fully, but it's fine as long as as long as you got the message from the beginning. That's what matters. If you're still watching this video, then I want to say like thank you so much for tuning into this message because it's important. Today is 6/8/2022. Today is Abundance Day. I'll just turn today's Abundance Day. So it's a good day to to tune into yourself and to block out, to clear energy blockages in your life, because a lot of people don't even know like they have energy blockages, such as it could be your root energy center, which is security, feeling like a child again. A lot of people that have like 20 or 30 or whatever maybe have grew up physically have lost their imagination, have lost their creativity. You know what I mean? Because they've been programmed and taught that when you get older, you should think, feel, and behave a certain way because this is what society calls normal. So you have to be able to create your own life and create your own reality. If you don't create your own reality, who's going to create it for you? And that's the question. The world's going to create it for you. They're going to say, do this, do that, do that, do this. If you don't do that, we're going to do this. If you don't do that, we're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that creativity. You have to have that imagination, the ability to imagine yourself where you want to be in life. It's your vision tool You know what I mean? So a lot of people, even me myself, have kind of like lost it slightly, just because of how everything is programmed to be. Your imagination is everything. That's why it's important to create what you love to do as your passion, whether that's drawing, art, uh, whatever you're doing as far as craft and arts. That is a tool for your creativity to improve. The more you improve your arts and crafts, the more you improve how you create things. Your arts and craft is your toolbox for your reality. Think about it. It's like a artist with his paintbrush, which is the tool, and he has his paint bucket with the paint, which is the imagination, which is the color, which is the actual display and reality of how it's going to be or how it's going to look once you're done creating it. It's the art of visualizing where you want to be at. So see, even how I'm explaining this analogy is creative itself. As you guys probably know, but my life path number is number three. So if you don't know about the threes are very powerful numbers, very creative numbers. Um, Especially threes. I'm actually just seeing three right there. Threes are very connected numbers. Creativity is the key to your life.